welcome. If you're new here, I'm Kimothy, and this is Buddy, the mighty rescue poodle. We're living in vehicles, have been since August 2024, after being unable to afford life as it was, following a very serious head-on collision in June 2022 that was not my fault. Trading up from an SUV to a huge Ram Pro Master after 18 months, we're now doing a no-build build before we start traveling again in the fall. And if you're from Ottawa, yes, that's me. I spent 25 years on television in local news with doing some national work as well. And now I continue to storytell. I've been from Ottawa to California and back, and Ottawa to Vancouver Island and back, and then flew to Mexico and spent 2.5 months in an SUV. And after a summer of real life in Ottawa and a lot of medical appointments, we're heading back out on the road to see some of our favorite things and a whole lot of new things. Well, hi. Welcome to part of my kitchen and my bedroom. I was thinking about you guys a lot today, and I'm going to explain this in a second. And I was thinking that over the last few weeks, I have had to do a lot of, let's call it administration. Plugging away with the van, but administration for me is a lot of medical appointments and things that are have to do's, not want to do's. And one of you wrote to me and said, I'd like to hear more about you and not always the location or the van. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. And as somebody that was a public figure in my city, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, after the accident, I really just moved away from public life because I had much bigger issues to deal with. And I don't know. I guess I haven't shared a lot on this channel about me and how I'm doing. And it's funny because I ask that when I interview other van lifers. So I thought that today I'm going to show you a few Dollarama tricks that I've added again to the vehicle. But so this is, it's called prolotherapy. These are the injections that I can show you, like the bandages that I can show you. The other injections go along my pelvis, my lumbar, seatbelt injuries, you know. So real life and van life for everybody in van life has to find a crossroads where if you're a YouTuber, that you're fulfilling your obligation to you guys, but also balancing your life, and so your actual real life. So I have decided to be a little more open with you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm just going to start today because I don't want to weight y'all down with, too much reality. But I'm going to start today by saying I am thrilled with this van. Over the moon, thrilled with this van. Thrilled with the no build and so far. I am stealthing most of the time in my own city, a capital city. For those of you that stealth, you would understand that sometimes it's a little harder in major cities to stealth, but I grew up here from the age of 14, so I kind of know some spots. But part of my location is dictated by where my medical appointments are in the city. It's a city of a million people, so you know where I camp. The reality of my situation is that um, maybe this is a big thought for my early sharing with you guys. Um, Trying to think of how to word this correctly is van life for me was a choice that wasn't my choice. I moved into my SUV um, probably, well, almost 2 years ago, because I was just hemorrhaging money after the car accident because I couldn't work and my company was needing me and I was not available. And I had all kinds of mental health challenges because I thought I was going to die on impact. I was certain that I was going to die. And I had that flash, just one flash. I just had one flash of um, who was going to tell my daughter that I was dead. And then the vehicle stopped and in a ditch sideways, which is why the seatbelt was kind of weird. Um, and my first thought was, holy, I'm alive. That was literally my first thought. And then the pain started. It was a very difficult extrication from the vehicle because the vehicle wasn't on its wheels. Um, and maybe I'll talk more about that. The anniversary is coming up, so it's a little raw for me right now. 4 years and still trying to deal with some insurance issues. Um, so, van life for me was freedom from hemorrhaging money that I knew I couldn't get back anytime soon. And I had always wanted to have a camper on Vancouver Island in my retirement and spend 6 months in a camper and 6 months um, in the nice warm months here in Ottawa. So I kind of knew a bit about it, and when I was injured, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and all of a sudden, it started to crystallize for me that um, I'm an avid camper. I used to be a mountain climber. I can't at all do that anymore. But outdoors, I'm really comfortable with. And I was spending $30,000 a year on rent in a very nice condominium with two bathrooms and a concierge. So I did not make any money. And so I was going to have to start using savings, which I take very seriously. So I decided to try it. And now I'm in the van because obviously I loved it. But it's also so financially available to people who are in the housing crisis and getting eaten up by it. So van life for me became about freedom. Then it became about a lifestyle. Then it became about um, growth for me, learning, lots of time to think. And um, also coming to grips with the fact that I have ongoing physical issues and I have ongoing psychological issues. Um, you know, I see a therapist, a very experienced PhD level psychologist who deals with PTSD and trauma with me. Um, and I would say the freedom of van life has enabled me the time and the space to do a lot of that personal work because I'm not in rush hour traffic. I'm not rushing to a job. I'm not then going to dinner with clients, and then I'm not then popping into somewhere just on my way home to make sure that another client is happy and has seen me. That used to be my life. And now I get to sit and think and look at trees and take my dog for a WALK if I'm having a good pain-free day. So these physical things to keep me upright as I age, being almost 58, are just a necessary part of my life. I just happen to do all of them while living in a van. So my main concern every time I have to go to one of these doctors, and there were 3 last week and then 2 this week, my main concern is always, what is the parking like there? Is it underground? I'm too tall for underground. I need somewhere to park. I've even considered, if my friends took Buddy for half a day, I've considered going and parking somewhere and then taking an Uber because I can't walk long distances anymore. Um, but anyway, so going forward, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Uh, but going forward, yeah, thank you to that subscriber who suggested that maybe a little bit more of the why and not the how. I always think in W5 who, what, when, where, why, how. Principles of journalism. And as a journalist for 25 years, when it was really popular, when TV was really popular, um, yeah, I always think of the who, what, when, where, why, and the who is always so important. That's the storytelling. What, yeah, what is the key message? What really needs to be shared? What's new? When, more a process thing. This happened to me when I was a kid. This is happening to me now. Where? Oh, great question for van lifers, isn't it? Um, people ask me a lot about, um, where is your favorite place? Where were you afraid, or were you ever afraid? Um, and I guess my favorite one is why. Who, what, when, where, why. Um, I'm not going with how, because I'm always someone that thinks if this way doesn't work, there will be another way, there will be another way. So the how is always, who knows, but we'll see. um, but the why, um, I think, is going to be a major part of this channel going forward. So thank you for listening. And here's a little bit of some of the stuff I have added, but I am going to do a full finished van tour after this no build is done fairly soon. I just want to get the rest of the insulation in, and that requires me to take some things down because I had to live in it while I was waiting for the weather to be warm enough. Okay, so that's it for now. Let me know your thoughts.